Okay, so what are the different kinds of data types? Or in other words, what can we define something to be? We can define it to be an integer. We saw something called a double, which I said is basically a decimal number. So what are the different types that we can use? Integer, double, what are they? Integers usually take the integer type. So these are examples of integers, and that's useful for discrete math like counting objects. There were 6 customers. The 100th customer will win. So these are examples of integers. Floating point numbers, that means decimal numbers, basically. I forget why it's called floating point, but you can look it up on Wikipedia and see why it was called floating point. But anyway, floats usually take the double type. So if you want to declare a decimal, usually you'll declare it as a double. For example, if you want to use this number 1.50 or this number and so on, you might declare these variables as doubles and then assign them numbers like this. If you don't explicitly declare a variable's data type, it's managed by the system as an object. So that means if you don't say it's an integer, you don't say it's a double, there are other types called strings, which are not numbers, and so on. If you don't say what type it is, then the system will assign it the type object. But the problem with that is that wastes a lot of memory. So you don't really want to do that. That will slow down your program. Of course, most of the programs we have, it won't matter because our programs don't take much time to run. But in general, it would slow down your program. We'll talk more about integers and floats and other data types shortly. First, let's look at some basic mathematical operations.